Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Divine Feminine Healers podcast. It is your host, Angelica, and today we are going to do an April energy update. And it's a really powerful month astrologically. If you don't already follow the astrological transits or astrologers in general, and it have been seen that this month is going to bring a lot of transformation, a lot of change, and we're actually going to see a lot of new beginnings really start to usher in. So I have about four channel messages that I tuned into for the energy of April, and then I'm also going to weave into some of the astrological transits, just so you can kind of gauge some type of timeline for all of this and when it's happening. So we start April 1st, with the full moon in Libra. And Libra is a very feminine energy that is all about bringing balance and harmony and bringing peace. Now, what's interesting is that Venus is ruled by, or I'm sorry, Libra is ruled by Venus. And right now, Venus just moved in one of its home signs in Taurus. So this is bringing more of the benefic factors of Libra, which is harmony, peace, be in alignment with beauty. And Venus also is that feminine energy that loves beauty, that loves to create art and creativity just for the sake of it, and can admire beauty. All of these things would be a really good time to naturally come forward. Now, Libra also rules our relationships. So the shadow side to Libra is being the overgiver, wanting because there's such a desire to keep the peace. There can be people pleasing tendencies. So this full moon will really eliminate where in your relationships you are overgiving and where in your relationships maybe you're having more of like a codependent imbalance. And this full moon is meant to highlight those areas of your life and bring them into balance. Now, of course, this will work so uniquely with all of us. We have all different types of relationships, whether it be career, home life, romantic relationships, friendships, community. So depending on where you have Libra in your chart is going to highlight those type of relationships that you need to restore that balance of giving and receiving. So we're starting off the month strong and really healing, harmonizing, balancing sign, which I really love because then the rest of the month seems like there's a lot of transformation on its way. So we've been talking about how a lot of these planets are moving from the watery signs and earth signs into fire and air. And this is the month where they all dramatically officially change. So we've already had a taste of this Aries energy, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is a self-motivator, it is about fresh starts, new beginnings, and it has like it's a huge fire sign, so it just has a lot of forward momentum with it. A lot of us who are fire signs are really excited for this energy. We've already gotten a little bit of a taste of this. We've had Saturn in Aries and Neptune move into Aries. Now, Saturn is the planet of discipline. It's kind of like, well, let's get things together and more into the logistical mind. And then Neptune is more into the dream world and is the visionary. So I actually love these two planets working together. It's a really nice balance of, okay, what is that vision, the next level dreams that are coming in? And Saturn's like, how are you going to get there? What are the strategies that are going to get you to those visions and dreams? So we've kind of already been working with those energies. And this month, we're going to see it more in tangible ways. Mars will move into Aries on April 9th. And Mars rules Aries, so we're going to see even more of that forward momentum. And Mars is all about action, being bold and courageous. So, one of the messages that I channeled for this month ahead is the courage to go into your next up level. I see like there's new beginnings that are coming, which is so exciting. A lot of us have been asking and waiting patiently for our manifestations and planting so many seeds these past couple of years that I know we're really ready for it. But we also have to remind ourselves that in order to go from where you're at right now to that next level, it is going to take courage. It's going to ask a little bit more of yourself than you may have been used to because you have been comfortable in the environment, in the relationship, in the job, whatever circumstances you were previously in, and has created some type of blanket and protection for you. But of course, we know, as with every transformation, it gets so comfortable until it gets uncomfortable and we want to push out. So it will require courage to go into that next level. It's never just going to be like radically so easy and just divinely falling into our laps. Kind of, it could, just depending on your perspective. But it will require your courage. So just know that ahead of time. And I think if you knew that ahead of time, that you would not question the new beginning that's coming forward and not revert back into staying safe and staying in the old place anymore. And then the last planet that will move into Aries, so then we're going to have so many planets in Aries. It'll be Mercury. Mercury will move from Pisces into Aries on April 14th. So this is going to really highlight our communications. A lot of you are channels. A lot of you are psychic and channels and literally channel information, or you're creatives. And so you're ruled a lot by Mercury because Mercury is known as the messenger, bringing the divinity into this physical reality. So I think that is going to bring in a lot of clarity for us. If you've been like, yeah, I'm ready for this new beginning, I can kind of see and I know what that is, but the step forward has not been clear. I really think the Mars and the Mercury shifts, they're going to start highlighting what those paths forward are. Because you never want to, you don't want to do that pushing and that forcing a peg into a round hole if that is not where it wants to go. Another message that I channeled, making sure that you have self-reflection time to reconnect with your intuition. Only you know the way forward. Protect what you are wanting to manifest and only share your new beginnings and desires with those that you totally trust. So oftentimes when we have these like new visions and new beginnings, it feels radical to us and it feels radical to our people that we're used to sharing information with. And that's just because a lot of people are living in this physical reality where they're just like, well, I can only see what's right in front of me. If you are sharing this information with people who do not have a relationship with the unknown and going into the unknown and are fearless in that type of sense, or at least understand what it takes for you to do that, that level of courage, and also how that is just a necessary part into going into a new beginning, that might also heed your forward momentum. So it's super important when you have this excited energy, if you finally have that clarity forward on how you can move towards your manifestations, if you share it with someone who is playing it small in their life, who is used to staying in their security blanket and not going outside of their realms, well, of course you're going to get that response to stay exactly where you are, to meet you where you're at and stay safe. So just know that when you are starting to change and creating these new beginnings, it will also begin to shift your relationships because basically they're all different types of identities that we're holding on to, and relationships are ones that we hold identities the closest with. Think about if you've ever lost someone who was really close to you, how that was such an identity shift for yourself. That's because we receive a lot of our identity from our very strong relationships that we have. Now, this isn't to mean that we have to shoo those people away, but it's only really if you really want to share your next steps because you're really excited and you want support, just to be really careful on who you share that with so that they are supporting this courageous energy, they're supporting your forward momentum. And that's only going to come from you making sure that you're still carving out time to listen to your intuition, because your intuition will always tell you. It's always going to say, yes, you are ready to take this path. Yes, you have all the resources. The timing is right. The timing is now. And as long as you're carving out time for yourself and getting into your own energy and not getting caught up in the chaos of the world and the collective energy, then that will be really clear to you. Okay, this next message. I saw and felt this shattering of an ego identity. And I know that can feel scary at first because we're like, oh my gosh, like a whole nother death and rebirth. But this actually feels like, it kind of feels like, if you were in a foggy glass and at first, like you were really grateful to be in that foggy glass because you got out of something that was maybe traumatic and it was protecting you and it was keeping you safe. But now it's just gotten so suffocating that you feel like you can't breathe and you need to get out of that. That when that finally shatters, it feels like the biggest release. Now, of course, where we're at in this particular part of our transformation process, we can grieve that glass. It brought us protection, and we were really grateful for the time that it brought us really inward and into ourselves. But also, we know that if we want to go to these new horizons and go on further into our journey, we will have to let go of parts of us that are no longer fitting anymore. So there's kind of a lot of aspects to it. It's going to show up in a lot of different ways. But if this does happen to you, if something feels like it's being taken away, only know that it's because it's trying to bring out your truer self and to bring that more forward. I did all my one-on-one readings for the month ahead for my subscriber channel and Instagram. And this was a message that kept coming up. A lot of them got the butterfly maiden card, and which represents transformation. So it's like they have been protecting themselves and keeping themselves really safe, which is a really admirable thing, and you can be really grateful for that time in your life. But now it's ready to like really go out of your comfort zone to really make those shifts, and the path is going to be super clear this month, where you're going to know exactly what that is, and you're going to need the courage to actually take that step. But don't be surprised if a part of you falls away. It wasn't a true part of you; it was a part that needed to go. And the last message was it's just a beautiful reminder that came through. The wheel of life is turning in your favor. Trust everything is happening to prepare you for your dream life. The physical world is not always what initially seems. So this kind of goes along with the last message. Like if you feel like something has been taken away from you, or like something surprising is happening into your life that you did not expect, the sooner you can come into trusting that the universe is propelling you forward to your next new beginning, and this is setting you up to the for that life for yourself, the more you can flow with these changes with ease and with grace. A lot of time, or sometimes with changes like earth signs and water signs, they can be really fast and abrupt. And this is definitely what the energy is in April, because Aries is fiery, it's fast, it's quick, it's almost cutting energy. Anything that is dense and heavy and is no longer yours will be cut out. And so, of course, initially that could be scary for people if you found a comfort in that old identity, but ultimately realizing this is happening for your greatest and highest good. And the energy is picking up in a beautiful way, which means it's not moving slower anymore. So these things aren't going to fall away at a slower pace. They're going to fall away at a faster pace, which is a good thing because it's going to bring you closer to the life that you've been wanting. So trust that all of these changes are happening for your greatest and your highest good. All right, everyone. I'm so excited for the energy of April. Let me know in the comments how this energy update felt for you. What are you feeling? Are you excited? What is coming up for you? If you are feeling a little bit scared or any type of negative emotions came up during this podcast, know that that is coming up to be witnessed and to be released. There's a lot of shedding that's happening. There's a huge transformation that's happening this month. So allow all that heavy energy to release from you and allow your true self to really come forward. All right, everyone, keep following me on Instagram and follow my newsletter for more updates on a weekly basis. I'm wishing you so much love, so much change and transformation for April, and I'll see you all next time.